You've had TikTok for the past few years and you've gained nothing from it. You've scrolled from video to video, all because your life is just unstructured. You have no purpose and your life's meaning has just come down to watching OnlyFans models shake their back for views and money. I'm Ryan and I'm on a mission to help you break free from all the modern day constraints there is out there. It's also my mission to help you become a better, more improved version of yourself. If you like how that sounds, I'd really appreciate if you can like and subscribe, as it really helps my channel out. It also helps my content get to the right people who need to hear this message. But now that's out of the way, let me begin the video. I'm not going to waste any of your time and I'm going to dive in straight away. And I'm going to start off by saying that TikTok is quite literally a gateway to sending you to watch porn. That might sound crazy, but here's why. From what I've seen and heard, the amount of sexual content that's distributed on TikTok is absolutely insane, like unbelievable now. The mainstream distribution of sexual content is at an all-time high, and that isn't a good thing. This is something that's horrible for both men and women. No one's exempt from this, and it's even worse if children have access to this. Like, how many times have you just been sat there scrolling and something random pops up, like something weird? Like, you're just sat there scrolling and out of nowhere, there's no wind up, but all you see is a female slut just doing something provocative. You were just looking at a food video and now you're just introduced to a video of a girl just shaking her back. That situation that I've just outlined is so common, where you're literally just scrolling and nothing's happening. You're just seeing a video, then you're seeing another video, things are pretty normal. And then out of nowhere, there's something just completely absurd that just pops up. When sexual content pops up in that manner, it's just so common for guys to just be sexually stimulated from that one thing and then just move on to just basically beating their meat and splurging all their energy. And this is the thing, and this is something you can probably relate to. After you've done splurging time on that pleasure that you had, you're just left disappointed, but you just don't know why. You're disappointed with yourself and you just can't understand how all of this happened because you didn't actually plan on doing so. What's even more annoying is that all of this could have easily been avoided, and you know that. The thing about TikTok is it exploits men in the worst ways possible. Biologically, men are just attuned to visual stimuli the most. TikTok exploits guys because it essentially knows that men in general are just hyper stimulated by visual stimuli. They know that men in specific, whenever they see erotic content or anything that's visually stimulating, it always gets them. And that's how TikTok basically exploits you, because it understands your weakness and it uses your biology against you. I'm going to give an analogy now, and this analogy is basically going to outline the effect I think TikTok has on guys. Humans are basically animals, but with social conditioning and contextual understanding. With that being said, from an animalistic and primal perspective, when you don't have TikTok, you're hungry, you're aggressive, you have goals, you're constantly trying to attack things and just make progress. When you don't have TikTok, you're not distracted and you see life for what it actually is. There's no sugarcoating, there's nothing distracting. You see things for what they actually are. You're not being blindsided, you're seeing the reality of your life firsthand. What you're like a hungry lion full of testosterone. But on the other hand, when you have TikTok, you have females popping up on your home screen shaking their back, and you also have access to things like porn. You don't really have anything to work for. Like, really think about that. When you have access to all these forms of like stimuli, you don't really have anything to work for. Like, you don't need to pursue females, you don't need to pursue sexual relationships, because you're basically getting that need fulfilled from your phone. The need is basically being superficially met with these apps. What you end up becoming after all of this is you're basically like a castrated dog with no energy. If you can imagine a comparison between a high test lion and a castrated dog, you can very quickly see the difference between the two. One's energetic, aggressive and focused. The other is lazy, mundane, and just purely docile. And that's literally you. When you have TikTok, you mimic the state of being like a castrated dog with no ambition. But when you aren't on TikTok and when you have goals and you actually have missions and you know what you're doing out of life, you're like this hungry lion full of testosterone. Realize that when you're on TikTok and you're seeing all of this degenerate content, you're literally having your energy and your life force taken away from you. And that's what you have to choose. You can either choose to be the lion or the castrated dog. You pick. Another thing I want to touch on is the scroll function and how it's literally on every single modern day social media app you see. TikTok was quite literally the first app to have like an unlimited death scroll feature. But I don't know about you, but it's quite literally everywhere now. Like you have YouTube Shorts, which you can scroll unlimitedly on. And it's the same with Instagram because you've got Reels, you've got Facebook, which you can scroll on. Every single app you can scroll on. You can even scroll on CapCut. I'll try and see if I can throw a screenshot up, but whenever I edit these videos, I can literally just scroll on CapCut and it's become crazy at this point. TikTok is bad, but in general, what I will say is that scrolling is just bad as a whole. I'm not going to try and decipher which one's worse or if TikTok's worse than Instagram or Instagram's worse than TikTok. They're all bad, and it's quite evident that that's very much true. I've been told that Instagram Reels is absolutely horrible and it's full of the most crazy shit, but that's not the point. The point is that all of these apps are quite literally contagious. You've seen the scrolling on TikTok, now you can scroll on Instagram. You've seen the scrolling on YouTube, and now you can scroll in every other app you know about. It's become a virus and it's spread everywhere. All you need to do is be aware of these things so you can make the right decision. The worst part about scrolling and all of these apps is you might think that you can control the content you see and you can customize your For You page. You can't. You genuinely can't. There is no being able to guarantee what comes up on your page. And you can't even, it's like a gamble trying to see what video is going to come up next. It could be some sexual degeneracy, or it could be less. What's crazy about these apps is that the more you interact and like with the videos that are degenerate, the more they'll come up. With all of what I've said in this video, the best thing you can do as a general rule, and this is what I'll go by forever, and it's that you probably just need to delete TikTok. It's what I did, it's what I've helped other guys do, and it's by far the best move you can make on the board. This is the reason as to why I say that and why I've helped so many other guys move away from TikTok and just get off the virus of the app. And the thing is, there's quite literally no other option. And what I mean by that is your life really just come down to just scrolling on TikTok? Like, really ask yourself that. Has it really come down to you just spending your time scrolling on TikTok, looking at reposts, going to other people's pages and stuff? Has it really come down to that? Because if you're anyone like me and you're watching this video and you think self-improvement and you think developing yourself is important, then I know you're someone who doesn't think that's a good idea. And I know you're someone with goals, ambitions, and really wants to grow and develop as a person. And it's like, you can't control the app. Like, some people might say, oh, well, Raihan, I can control this thing. You genuinely can't. You have no leverage over the app, and in the end, you lose. It's like an uphill battle. You can't really win. You can't control the content you see. You can't control the sorts of topics that come up. I mean, I'm sure like some of them might come up. So like if you like, I don't know, football might come up quite a bit, but then you'll have the occasional bits of degeneracy where there'll be a sexual video here, a sexual video there. Like, these companies know, these apps know, these organizers know exactly who you are, and they use your information against you. From what I've been told and from what I've heard from other people, TikTok knows exactly what you're doing. Like, you can see a video about something and then something will happen in real life just like the video you've seen, which is absolutely crazy. The thing is that you can't control your time on these apps. People say you can. Again, I highly disagree. You can't control your apps. With me, I'm someone that's highly disciplined. I have a lot of focus. But if someone gives me TikTok, I won't be able to control my time scrolling. What will end up happening is if I go on those apps, my dopamine's going to be fried and I won't be able to do anything. And that's the same with you. When you scroll on TikTok, when you waste time, you don't have control over what you're doing and you end up losing time that you'll never get back. And you definitely don't want that, because if you're ambitious, you know you need to be doing better. Anyways, I really hope this video has helped you, and I really hope you've gained more awareness as to how these apps are destroying you and how these bad habits are just making your life worse. In my opinion, I think apps like TikTok are quite literally taking away your potential because they don't even give you a positive return on investment at all. I think these apps have pretty much taken a lot from quite literally everyone. Like, just quickly think in your head, how many people do you know have TikTok? So many people you know have TikTok. All your friends, potentially family members will have them. Everyone you know seems to have it. And if you've seen the bad impact it has on you, you can probably think about the bad impact it has on them. You can see the negative state it puts other people in, and you don't want that to happen to you or anyone else around you. I feel like it's my aim to help people who are struggling with social media and being addicted to things like TikTok, because it's something I personally went through and I fought to get out of. If you've got to this point in the video already, make sure you comment breakthrough down below to show your support. And if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. One last thing I'll say before I go is always strive for excellence, because great things will come your way.